Okay. All right. We are here. We're so glad you all are here. And actually, I'm going to stop my screen share so that Miss Taylor can unmute herself and welcome everybody to the call. Taylor, we're so excited to be here and just learning a little bit more about Juice Plus. So if you want to just take a little time to share with us why you're excited about Juice Plus, why you're even sharing tonight, and just, yeah, take it away.
Thank you so much, Miss Julie. I am super excited to have all of you on here. Thank you so much for hopping on and taking time out of your evening. I know that this will be super beneficial and informative for you all. So I got started with Juice Plus. I actually, about a year ago, we all got COVID and I just had a continual health struggle. Ever after that point, went to the doctors. They could not figure out anything of what was going wrong. And I was really struggling with my energy levels. I was always tired. I was sleeping it's embarrassing how much I was sleeping, sometimes over 10 hours and still waking up just completely exhausted. And then I was also having heart palpitations and a lot of other symptoms that were like dizziness and just a lot of other symptoms that were just making it hard to live, even just going from day-to-day things in day-to-day life. So it was definitely a struggle, and I was actively searching for something that could help. I took different supplements and they did help. For a short time I did see some difference, but then it just kind of leveled out, and I didn't feel a difference continued and sustained. So I was still going to the doctor, still not getting answers. And actually Savannah, or it was actually Sabrina. So Savannah's sister just mentioned to me, hey, I've heard about this Juice Plus, and I really think it could help with your health problems. And then a little bit after that, Savannah also reached out to me and was like, I think this could really benefit you, and just kind of explained some of the benefits of it and how fruits and vegetables do help and just really help our health. And so I was definitely okay with looking into it. I wasn't sure. I was already taking other supplements. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm totally open to looking into it. And so then I hopped on a Zoom and just saw all of the benefits of it and was totally sold. So at that point, I think I've been taking it almost 2 weeks now, and I've already seen a huge change in my energy levels, and I'm waking up before my alarm clock. So which is crazy for me because that was definitely not the case before taking Juice Plus. And I'm so excited. And my energy levels are great, sustained throughout the day. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for just how God created the fruits and vegetables and natural methods to help sustain our bodies and give us the energy that we need. So that's how I got started.
Oh, Taylor, I love that. I love that you're already seeing a difference. And, I was just listening to somebody today, a doctor, talk about she healed herself from Hashimoto's using food, right? Mostly food, sunlight. But one of the things she said, like when we have to sleep, like how much we have to sleep to feel rested is a direct correlation to how well our body is functioning. And when we have to sleep 10 hours and we're still not feeling rested, that is a sign that our all cells are not firing the way that they should. So super interesting that you add in some really powerful nutrition and you start to feel, I don't have to sleep as long. That's huge. And that is a correlation between how you are fueling your body right now. That's amazing. I love that you shared that. And I just heard that today, that really you can gauge a lot on how much you need to sleep, right? And this woman now like does not sleep nearly as much. She used to sleep the same way, 12 hours or, whatever. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. And we're going to do a little presentation here so we can find out a little bit more. Same sort of thing that that Taylor heard a month ago or so, we're going to talk about tonight. So why we're here is because all of us do want to be in charge of our health and be proactive. And we're somewhere on the spectrum of health, right? We're either moving towards sickness or we're moving towards vitality. But the truth is we can't really just be stuck in one place. We're always taking steps in one direction or the other. And of course, we're here because we're interested in moving towards vitality. If we have great health, we want to keep it. If we're, more in a dis-ease state, we want to move out of that. So the reality of today, though, is so many people are struggling with illness. This is the most, depressing of slides, but it's what's true. Autoimmune diseases are on the rise. When my mom was my age, a generation ago, we didn't even know what autoimmune was. She certainly, these diseases didn't even exist. Heart disease is on the rise. 1 in 2 women, 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. Back to my mother again. When she was in her 40s, she did not have one friend who had cancer. Unfortunately, I would have to use all my fingers and all my toes and then some to tell you all of the people I know in my life who are struggling with cancer. So this is now common, but it's not normal. But we think it's normal, but it's not. So, and that's what we're here to really discuss. And then, of course, diabetes and childhood obesity. Our children are more harmed by poor diet than by drugs and alcohol combined, and yet we're not really hearing about that, or we haven't. I do feel like the story is starting to change and more people are waking up to, we do not have to be victims, but we really can move the needle in our favor. So a lot of this has to do with how we view food. So if you look at an iceberg, and we all know this analogy, right? That like 90% of the iceberg we never, ever even see. And that's really how we look at food. We talk all day long about proteins and fats and carbs, and there's so many diets that are just all around how you put these 3 macronutrients together. Are you going to be a high fat, high protein, low carb? Are you a low fat, high carb? We delve into this over and over again. However, 90% of what we're not talking about is what's most important, and that's our micronutrition. So we can eat proteins, fats, and carbs all day long, but if they do not have a plethora of the micronutrition in them, then it's really not doing much for our body. So with food, we know that macronutrition, the purpose of that is to build our bodies and to fuel our bodies. But what about micro? What is micronutrition actually doing? It's doing the last thing there, the last apple. It's conditioning our body. And what does that look like to condition our body? Well, that's more the physiology of our body, what is physiology? As it states at the top, it's the function of a system. Our body is made up of all different types of systems. Yes, we fuel our body with food, but we condition it with micronutrition. And that's how we know how well our different systems are going to work. So you see a bunch of different systems here, and how they respond is going to be really indicative of how strong our physiology is. So when you have a high fat meal, how quickly does your cardiovascular system regulate after that? If you run into a virus, how quickly does your immune system recover from that, right? Or when we have a workout, how quickly does your muscular system recover from that workout? How quickly are things being repaired and restored? That's what the micronutrition is doing in our body. And so that's where Juice Plus enters in. Juice Plus is all about micronutrition. So this is the part of the story where I love to tell how it started, because there was a doctor who knew about the power of nutrition back in 30 years ago. He was helping cancer patients to heal with food, particularly with juice. And so he was taking juices and flooding people's body with them and helping them heal. But he then had his own father come down with lymphoma and was given 3 weeks to live. He literally carried him out of the hospital because he could not walk. He had lost so much weight. They had said, there's nothing more we can do. And he asked his dad, can I take you back to my office in Arizona? And can I see what we can do? And his dad said, of course. So they went back, he started juicing, and he was just trying to figure out, how could I make these even more powerful? And so what he did is he took vine ripened fruits and vegetables, berries, and they were all ripened on the vine, and he took them and he dehydrated them. And he did that by he put them in a big mixer first. He blended them all up in a big mixer. Picture this giant, Vitamix that he had. and he put everything in there. So the pits and the peels and the seeds and the rind. So just more than just juice. It was the whole fruit, vegetable, and berry. And then dehydrated them all around his office, actually, on like cookie sheets, and he blew fans on them. Well, his dad started to get better. I mean, he actually started to put on weight, and all he was taking in were these powders, which is incredible. And he knew that he was onto something. And so he took those to Juice Plus, and that is what we have today. We ripened, we blend, we dehydrate, and then we encapsulate, which is really a big deal because a lot of times there are other sort of plant powders on the market that are in big tubs. Unfortunately, every time you open that tub, it's oxidizing. When we come into contact with oxygen, we start to age. If you think even just about an apple, when we cut an apple, immediately it starts to brown, right? That's a sign that it's decaying. That's the same thing going on with plant powder. So it's a really big deal that ours are encapsulated, which means they are just preserved. So our plant powders hit the market in 1993, and I have yet to find anything like this anywhere. Juice Plus is unique, and that's what I love about it. So the first thing is that Juice Plus has a nutrition label. So it's truly only food. So any other supplements you pick up, they might say, oh, it's, from a plant powder or whatever, but you turn it around and it's going to say supplement on the back. Our label is a nutrition label, the same label you find on a bag of carrots or spinach. And honestly, if Juice Plus was carried in the store, it would be in the produce department. That's where it would be kept. It would not be with the supplements. It would be with the produce department because it is literally powdered produce. Secondly, it's a third-party certified. And this is a really big deal because supplements are not regulated, okay? And we are, because we go through the FDA just like food does. In the same way that you can feel, relatively good about eating food, you can feel good about Juice Plus because of that certification from the FDA. But we go even further with a third party because we pay for and hold and have for 30 years the certification, which I believe it's like 85 to 90% do not have anything like this. So it's very unique in our space, but they test our products not once, but twice. So every batch is tested to make sure there are no herbicides, pesticides, funguses, molds, everything that's in there is in there and nothing that you don't want. This is a big deal because organic produce, unfortunately, is not this clean. So it's better than organic because they're spraying absolutely nothing. Juice Plus partners with small to medium-sized farms around the country. We're actually one of the largest produce consumers in the world, which is crazy to me, but we consume more produce than anybody. So we have farms that all they do is supply us with kale per se, right? Or whatever else, cabbage. Also, the last thing is that we're the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world, which I love. So all these years ago, Dr. Santillo had taken our product to pharmaceutical companies and really tried to say, I think this could be something. And, not really shocking. They really didn't want anything to do with it. But we decided to do research because we thought there is something to this. And this was way before research was being done on food. I feel like more and more now this is common, but Juice Plus has over 47 studies about our product and what it does in the body. So here are just some of the results from Juice Plus. Contributes to cardiovascular wellness, and we're going to talk about that particular study. Healthy inflammatory response, cholesterol, metabolism, gut microbiome. It's shown to increase butane in the gut, which is huge. Supports healthy lung function. My story, we'll talk about that. Healthy skin and gums, immune system, DNA. Reduces oxidative stress, which we just live with oxidative stress just by simply living. So taking that down. And then 19 studies prove that it's absorbed by the body. So it's not just expensive urine, which a lot of people will say that's what vitamins are because you can't even take them in. 19 studies show that it's in our body within 19 minutes. And I'm sorry, it's in your body within a few minutes. There's 19 studies. And then improves cognitive processes. That's one of our latest studies that show that short-term memory and cognition is improved by taking Juice Plus, which is really, really exciting. So one of the studies that I'd love to share is from the University of Maryland and was in the Journal of American Cardiology, which is awesome because it's one of the top journals. So this isn't like, kind of run of the mill. These are the best journals at some of the best universities doing research on our products. But this is something that pertains actually to migraines as well, because it's talking about the constriction in our blood vessels, in this case, in our arteries. So they took a group of people and fed them a high-fat meal at McDonald's, and afterwards measured the constriction in their arteries. We all have some level of constriction when we have a high-fat meal, as our body tries to process that. So you can see on that first day, that's the first column there on the left, everybody had around 50% of constriction. So they had a group that was receiving the placebo, a group that took our red and our green, our fruits and our veggies, and then a group, the purple little line there, that took all three of our blends, fruit, veggie, and berries. They took them back 28 days later and measured it again after a high-fat meal. You can see this is now the chart on the right, the 3 bars on the right. The placebo group still had the most constriction, around 50% still. The ones that had the fruit and veggies had 68% less constriction, which is amazing. But when they added in the berries, they had 97% less constriction. They had 3% constriction, which is barely anything. This is in just 28 days, and not changing anything, but just adding more good, which is so encouraging. They didn't have to start a new exercise program. They didn't have to, eat a totally different diet. They just added more good in, and their body knew what to do with that. And I think Taylor's story really says the same thing. She added more good and more concentrated good, and her body was able to take it and be like, you know what? You don't need to sleep 2 hours. You need to sleep 2 hours less to repair your body than you were, right? Because sleep is really when we repair. So the more repair we need, the more we need to sleep. The less repair we need, the less we need to sleep. So that is our Juice Plus, and that's one of my favorite studies. We have a very small product line, which I absolutely love, because what we do really well, and we don't try to do everything, but what we do great. So the other thing we have is Juice Plus Complete, which is a line of shakes and bars that is macronutrition. So we do have a macro choice that's full of good micronutrition too, but this actually will fill your belly. So there are calories and good balance of protein, fats, and carbs. We call it a healthy fast food. It's got a lot of fiber, which really helps balance blood sugars. This is really great for people who are struggling with diabetes, but it's really great for kids, adults, whatever. My kids absolutely love it. They're always asking for a protein shake or a pudding. We will make these into puddings with just a little less liquid, and they are delicious. These have 14 different plants in them than our capsule line. So when you take the whole Juice Plus line, you are getting 50 different plants into your body every single day. So it's like going to the produce section and taking a bite of every single thing, which is amazing. And then our last product I want to talk about tonight is our Omega, which is a plant-based Omega. A lot of people are taking a fish oil, as they should, because we do not make Omega fatty acids. We do have to consume them. Many people are doing that by consuming the oil of fish. But here is something that I didn't know before I started taking Juice Plus, is that fish don't actually make omegas. They are going to algae. They're going to plants. Omegas are made by plants. And so we just cut out the middleman, if you will. We cut out the fish, partially because it's not sustainable. It takes so many fish, like 40 to 50 pounds of fish, to make 4 ounces of oil. So, and then the second reason is our oceans are a little bit toxic, and so our fish have that toxicity. So we grow algae in a controlled environment where it's not it doesn't have any of those toxins or mercury, and then we add 4 more oils to make a wide full spectrum omega. So it's omega 3, 6, 5, 7, and 9, because they all occur in nature and all have different facets of goodness for our body. And then I said there were 3 unique things about Juice Plus, but really there's 4. And this one was the reason that I got started on Juice Plus. And that's because children eat for free on Juice Plus. Any child that ages 4 to 25 can take Juice Plus for free as long as you are. So you start taking Juice Plus and your child is 4 and you take it, they can take it that long as well, which is really incredible. We do have a chewable version for kids if they can't take the capsules, but it's amazing. It's a company with a heart. I've never seen another company that does anything like this. And I'm so grateful that they really want to help families get started on Juice Plus. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to share a little bit just about my story, about how I got started with Juice Plus. And it really was through the Family Healthy Starts, because I had a child who was really sick with asthma. He had been hospitalized 4 different times from the age of 2.5 to 4. And the last time he was in the hospital, he was in the pediatric intensive care unit. So I was really at a loss at this time. I have 8 children, and Elijah was my 6th baby, and I had never had anything like this happen, and we ate really clean. So it wasn't that I felt like I could make a lot of improvements, because we already were eating. I was conscious about the food choices. So I thought, what in the world is going on with Elijah? However, when I look back at how Elijah's little life started, he was a NICU baby. He was in the he was in the NICU as a baby because he was preemie, and he was pumped full of antibiotics, which antibiotics in the beginning of life increase your chance of having asthma by 50%. They don't tell you that. So sorry, my phone's ringing. Hold on 1 second. Oops, sorry. I didn't count on my phone ringing. Oh, okay. So where was I? Antibiotics increased by 50%. And so he was having that reaction, which unfortunately I didn't know about. I may have made a different choice, but I didn't know. So I had a friend who was sharing Juice Plus with me for a while, and I really wasn't understanding how different of a product that it was. But she finally was like, Julie, you have nothing to lose. What if I just started sending you Juice Plus? Because she had a customer who was willing to sponsor him, even though she didn't know him. And we did. We started taking Juice Plus, and I had little expectation that anything was going to change, but I am so happy that we started, because Elijah was never hospitalized again. He never had another asthma attack that was serious enough to land him in the hospital. And he never took the steroids that the doctors were prescribing him. So we were able to walk out slowly from asthma. He's now 10, and it's been whatever, like 5+ years since anything has happened with him. So we were so pleased at his response. And then for me, I had always struggled with anemia, and within 3 months, my hemoglobin levels had leveled out, which was incredible, because I just always suffered with a little bit of fatigue, and I don't have that anymore. And it's been 6 years now, and it's just always been stable. So that is how I, found Juice Plus, and then my story with Juice Plus, and why I'm so passionate to share it with other people. So I would love for Emma, if you want to hop on and just share a little bit about your story too, to wrap up our call.
Sure, I love to. I heard about Juice Plus 4.5 years ago. My sister, who's a midwife, she had heard about it from Julie, actually, and she was sharing with me that she had just learned that prenatals were not proven to get to baby. And being pregnant with my first baby, I was just like, that's not good. Why do I want to spend $30 to $40 a month on something that's just not even going to get to my baby? So she shared that with me, and I thought it just made total sense. And it would get to the baby, and that was most important to me. So after I had my first baby, I stopped taking it. Then I got pregnant 7 months later, got back on it with second baby, then had her, stopped taking it, got pregnant almost a year later, got back on it for my third baby, just used it like my prenatal. And then this past, our baby just turned 1 yesterday, and I stopped taking it right after he was born last year, which I think is really interesting to note, because previously I had taken it a little bit postpartum, like until I ran out with the other two. And with Lucas, our last, I stopped taking it right away. And I dealt with postpartum depression with him, and I had with the other kids. And that's now that I'm connecting the dots, I would give Juice Plus credit for that. The lack thereof after having Lucas. Anyway, so fall rolled around, and our kids started getting sick, like every other week sick. It was just ridiculous. And not just like a stuffy nose here or there. It was pretty bad. They got RSV, just colds. And I realized that we weren't taking Juice Plus like we had been in previous winters when I was expecting or newly postpartum. And so in January, I was actually cutting Julie's hair. I'm a stylist, and I told her, like, I'm going to do this. I need to get it into our home. And the way I'm going to do that is by sharing with other people because we couldn't afford to get it in our home without doing that. It was a rough financial year for us, but that was a necessity for me because I saw the difference. So in January, we got it back into our house. And for 5 months, my kids had nothing. Like as COVID went through my extended family, other like pretty bad sicknesses that everyone else got. And our kids, maybe got busted. It was like, it was nothing. And I'm so grateful. They just went through something else, but they got a cold and then some other friends got a cold. The other friends had it for 10 days and my kids' bodies just recovered quicker. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know it's not like a one pill fixes all, but the fact that I can see our bodies strengthening. So that's my kids as well as my gut health. I've had major gut issues since 2014. So almost 10 years. And 5 weeks in, I was shocked. Honestly, I'm like, how can fruit and vegetable and berry powders do this to my gut? This is amazing. I had so much relief and I'm so grateful for that. It's just been such a blessing to our family. So I also just love sharing it with everyone I know because of how it's blessed us.
You guys, this is hilarious. My light is like,
It is. What is that?
it's become a disco ball. I have no idea. It all of a sudden just started doing.
Hey, it's a party.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
it.
it is a party. I'm so sorry. This is hilarious. I don't know,
Oh,
like
it's fine.
it got pushed and now I can't get it back to the right thing. So I'm just gonna let it
That
go.
is so funny. That's
But
totally fine.
oh gosh, hilarious. It is a party. It is a party. And it's representing all the different colors of the rainbow that are in Juice Plus. That's what I think.
There you go. It's
Well,
true.
thank you so much for sharing, Emma. It's been
course.
great to watch you, just your story and how passionate you are about getting into your children. And then also your skin. I know your skin super
Oh,
improved.
yes. I
Um,
forgot about that part of my
Yes,
story.
her skin went from just prone to acne to look at how beautiful it is now. Like it was so
It
broken
was
up.
bad.
And Juice Plus definitely helped. So anyway, I am going to stop the recording at this point and